The issue of Jamie Perkins and Nikki thot has lingered for a while, and there are fresh updates from Nikki as to regards the things that happened between her and Jamie, and I'm here to give you guys all that and more. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Princess Banigo and you are welcome to Banigo's TV. To all my returnees, you are welcome, and if you're new, thank you so much for coming to this channel. So for those that don't know, Jamie Perkins took down his video, and then it didn't just stop at taking down the video. He literally took down his channel, so he deactivated his channel also. If you search on YouTube right now, as at when last I checked, you will not find Jamie Perkins channel. And a lot of people are wondering and speculating, why did Jamie take down his video and then went ahead to take down the channel? So Nikki said she was going to come out and do a video for us explaining our part in everything that happened, but apparently she made some posts, and in this post we're going to be finding out if she's still going to make a video or not. I have everything right here on my phone, and I'm going to be reading it word for word for you guys, so you guys have to be patient. For those that might have seen it and were not patient enough to read it, well, you will hear from my mouth as I break everything down for you guys. I made a video responding to the allegations and was ready to press post, but for the sake of our children, I am not going to engage in a back and forth online. I share context that was missing from his video and leave this subject alone. I have had no contact with him since he posted that video, nor have I threatened legal actions. Jamie removed the video simply because he saw that people weren't buying this story. I felt something wasn't right in my marriage, but I didn't know what I was experiencing. Then in June 2019, I came across the podcast Love and Abuse, where I discovered what emotional abuse was. I made the mistake of telling him I knew it was emotionally abusive and probably a convert narc, meaning narcissist. I never cheated on Jamie and he knows that. But he was quick to run a smear campaign through the community about why we broke up. I want to make it very clear that what you witnessed was reactive. The clips you saw were carefully edited and didn't show what led to me smacking the phone out of his hands. Never have I punched this man or thrown heavy object at him during our disagreements. I came to the house to collect some clothes and wanted to have a conversation. He kept calling me a slut and to get out of his house. I then requested that he drops the girls at the supermarket car park for changeover, and he says he would rather do it at a police station. This was never court ordered. At this point, I am highly upset because why would you want to inflict that trauma on our daughters? Having changeovers with their parents at a police station every week, he wanted to manipulate their minds and paint the picture that mom was so dangerous that dad needed protection. I smacked the camera out of his hands because I was in a vulnerable moment and didn't want to be recorded. This was a pattern where he constantly violated me by filming me without consent. It started early at 18. Then when I gave birth, he posted my very personal vlogs without giving me any time to emotionally recover. I remember begging him to give me time with our new baby before we shared her with the world, but he told me to stop sabotaging the channel. When the camera were rolling, Jamie was very sweet to me, but behind the lens, he was highly critical. My body after children quickly became a main topic, and he expressed me needing to hit the gym 3 weeks postpartum with Ava. He would repeatedly comment on my stretch marks and loose skin, asking why I couldn't just snap back. He blamed me for absolutely everything. Nothing I could do was right, and I was at fault for anything that went wrong in his life. Shortly after the encounter, he tried to get a restraining order on me. Not only did he put himself down as a protected person, but also our two young daughters. If he was successful in obtaining that, I could not come within 200 meters of them. His mother enabled his behavior and signed as a witness that saw me beating him in front of the children. The clips you saw of me smacking the phone, and they took this evidence to court. I put a counter complaint on him, and it was up to the judge to decide. He knows there is nothing I love more than our daughters, so he used that footage to silence me. We never went before a judge. Instead, we had his lawyers present an undertaking which conveniently included that the children could not continue being filmed for YouTube. It also included that we couldn't mention one another or our relationship online for 12 months. We both signed it because I had no intention of making this public and didn't want to risk chance of not seeing our girls. He has been free to speak on this since 2020. I never kept him from the kids. I said you can see them whenever you want. All I ask is that he stopped exploiting them. I saw how he affected me in the marriage, and I didn't want our kids to suffer the same confusion because dad was totally different when the camera were on. In 2020, Jamie messaged my sister and was trying to get me back once he saw the views were still low, despite using the kids for majority of his content. I had already filed for divorce, but he wanted me to change my mind. He came to my parents' house, we went for a walk, and he told me he wanted his family back. I said no, and our divorce was finalized in December of 2020. Since then, I have been negotiating their online presence and managed to get it down to one video a week featuring the kids. This was across all platforms including YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. I worked very hard to lower their online presence because I saw how it affects them. I initially agreed to filming with the kids as long as he pays them a percentage, but he refused that offer. He claimed I was vengeful, but after I left, he stole the channel, changed passwords to business emails so I couldn't work with past clients, and changed our bank details on AdSense so the revenue from our past vlogs went to his personal account. He kept the vlogs for himself, leaving me with zero memories of our children. I requested my full birth video, but he kept them from me for 3.5 years. He used this as a leverage so I can change my stance on him making content with the girls. Part of the reason I vlogged was to have memory of our babies as they grew, but he kept this from me too. I even asked for footage of my sister Sarah. He had all the hard drives and he told me they were destroyed. Please bear in mind, my sister isn't alive anymore and they were the only videos of her I had to look back and remember her. He knew our children and my sisters were sensitive spots for me, so he would use these two things to control me. Jamie's health issues never stopped him from partying with friends, never stopped him from taking trips overseas while I looked after our children. When I did ask for assistance, he would throw it in my face that I was the one who wanted kids, so I find it interesting that he claims he is too sick to work a regular job. I even gave him ideas on what he could film. I told him he could make a video editing content as he is a great editor or works a traditional job. I am not limiting his capacity to earn. I simply put my foot down and said, Don't exploit our children for monetary gains like he did with me. Jamie kept dragging me back to court and writing complaints to my lawyers constantly. The legal fees he incurred were self-inflicted. On his 40th birthday, on Jamie's birthday, the girls had school. They mentioned Dad was going to Sydney for his birthday. He was aware she had a dental emergency, so I took the next available appointment, which happened to fall on a Friday. I offered for him to take them instead as it was an emergency, and he said he'd rather take them out for ice cream so he doesn't miss his flight. The appointment was at 5 p.m. I picked the girls from a local ice cream place at 4:40 and we went to our appointment. Jamie then left for the airport at 5 p.m. to catch a flight to Sydney. The dad's play group. At this point of co-parenting, I had reached my tolerance and wanted minimal in-person contact with him for the sake of Ava and Zoe. He would always have his phone out trying to bait a agreement with me because I didn't want them used in content. I asked him to put Zoe in a school on a Wednesday so I could completely avoid contact with him. One parent drop off and the other picks them up. This seemed like a great solution, but of course he fought me on this too. Had there been work obligations restricting him from changing his schedule, I would completely understand, but there wasn't. He had only been to this playgroup one time. He could have made other arrangements for the sake of healthy co-parenting. Disney. I had to take legal actions for my girls to even attend school at their ages. In Australia, you start school at 5 or 6 depending on how early in the year you were born. Jamie wanted them delayed another year so he can milk them for views while they were in his case. I said no. We live in Australia and California was very far flight and he had never taken them out of the country alone. I didn't want them to go out, but I offered to come so the girls didn't miss out on the experience. But he knew if I was there, I wouldn't like him filming them as much, so he made co-parenting the issue. I wanted to put our issues aside and give the girls some happy moments, some happy memories with both parents. I brought up the matter of schooling because it took me back to court and forced me to send the girls to this expensive private school. This was his request, and I am now responsible for their expenses. Depression is not something I would ever take lightly. The comments I made on the recorded audio were not okay. Before he pressed record, he was calling me crazy and said I needed psychiatric help, threatening to take full custody of our kids, so I stooped to his level. This isn't an excuse, and I apologize if this statement caused offenses to anyone. Long story short, this was a very manipulative and calculated attack on not only myself, but these acts will also cause collateral damage to our two children. This was a 4-year-old clip, and now these clips will remain online forever. I have moved on with my life. I am in a loving, genuine relationship and finally at peace. This smear campaign was made not only to gather sympathy for his audience, but to revive a stagnant YouTube channel, sell an unreleased children's book, and completely slander my reputation. Jamie wanted revenge for me putting my foot down and restricting how often he posted the girls online. It disheartens me that I need to even make this statement because most people with discernment can see what it was. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to read this. To Ava and Zoe, I am sorry. So basically, guys, this was everything that Nikki said and posted about Jamie because she chose not to upload a video, and I will leave it to you, the audience, to do justice by deciding who you think is right or wrong. But this is my honest opinion. Either of them, they are not saints, but Jamie did more harm than good, coming out to put a story and just to paint Nikki bad. Nikki is not a saint, Jamie is not a saint. They both have fault in what happened between the marriage and why the marriage did not work out, and I hope they put the kids first and do the right things for Ava and Zoe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye for now.